Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Review. Today's beer is courtesy of my man Gabe. So thank you, Gabe. So Gabe is funny in like a dad joke kind of a way. So he had bought a pack of these. He's like, "Hey, do you want one?" I'm like, I'm trying to save money on beer." So he ended up giving me one. He said, out of the container, out of the packaging, this was already written on it by Sixpoint for review by No Hype only. So he's like, I have to give you it to review. So I'm like, you're such a dork, but thank you. I do appreciate it. So seriously, thank you. Um, so Three Beans, my local like beer dork friends, um, including Gabe, we really liked Three Beans when that came out. Like that was a beer we all really quite enjoyed. And this is the bourbon barrel aged version of that. So I'm like really excited. It's got cocoa husks, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, and I didn't look it up because I'm not very informative. And coffee added. I actually haven't taken that thing off to read this. Uh, it's yeah, the Three Beans from before. It's actually a porter, not a stout, and it has that coffee and chocolate flavoring, and that's stored in bourbon barrels until they felt it was just right. This vintage matures for up to 3 years, they're gonna say, and serve neat. Nice. Um, it's 12 ounces. The shape of their cans, it like makes me feel like it's not 12 ounces because it's skinny but it's tall. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's 12. ABV is at the bottom, and it is not on there very well. Uh, 10.1% maybe? I don't know. It's hard to read. Anyway, whatever. You can look that up. Again, my videos are not very informative. Ooh, all right, decent head already. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. The Four Beans, is that the one that we were a little disappointed in? And I don't think I had Five Beans, but the Three Beans I remember we all really liked. Anyway, a little over finger ahead, kind of that mocha khaki color somewhere in the middle of that. Definitely looks like cola. You got some brown on the edges, definitely down here as well. So not quite motor oil, more cola. Let's get into the aroma. Definitely leads coffee, without a doubt. It doesn't smell like straight coffee, but definitely leads with that coffee aroma. A little bit of green pepper, I get that. I don't get as much as a lot of people do, but in this I can see where people are coming from. The chocolate is hard. I can't. It doesn't quite smell like milk or dark chocolate, just kind of generic chocolate, which I don't know if that's really a term that should be used, but I'm gonna say generic chocolate. A little bit of vanilla, I'm gonna assume from the bourbon barrel since it does not have vanilla added. Slight oak. I don't get specific bourbon though in the aroma, but definitely some oak and vanilla. So the bourbon barrels are definitely adding something to this. So I can say that. In terms of like sweetness or dryness, the aroma's not really screaming either one of those. So I don't really know what to expect. I didn't look anything up about this beer ahead of time. Um, let's get into it. Cheers. It's pretty darn good. Tell you what, that vanilla from the bourbon barrels does come through with a taste. Immediately, I have to say this. What video was it relatively recent? I said something similar. I've been doing such big bourbon barrel aged stouts. Then immediately you notice that the mouthfeel is not at that level. But it shouldn't be. It's a porter, not a big, Russian Imperial Stout aged in a bourbon barrel. That's not what this is. So the mouthfeel is lighter. Tell you what, though, flavor wise, this is nice. Definitely the vanilla comes through, like I said, from the bourbon barrels. Definitely the coffee, a little bit of chocolate, more milk chocolate. Even as I'm talking, usually at this point where I get more of the dark chocolate, it's there a little bit, not as much as a lot of, again, similar style I've been doing with the stouts aged in bourbon barrels. Just a hair of that. The bourbon itself, the spirit, relatively low, but it plays nicely with those other flavors. It's it's not a sweet tasting beer, but like I was saying about the nose, where it was hard to tell if it was gonna be like dry or sweet. It's a little bit more on the sweet side. It's as a sweet tooth guy, this is not a super sweet desserty kind of a beer at all. But as someone else who appreciates dry beers, it's not. it's a little bit on the sweet side of the spectrum, but it's not really going to polarize. I don't think anyone who is on an extreme or wants one of the extremes, um, they're going to think it's pretty middle of the road there, which is fine. It doesn't have to pick a side, right? A little bit of coconut from the barrel as well, which is nice. The coffee, vanilla, coconut, chocolate, a little bit of a candy bar, very light candy bar taste. As I'm explaining all this stuff, hopefully it's coming across. This is a good beer. Um, but again, just if you're like me and when you drink a dark bourbon barrel aged beer, you're thinking big. It's a stout for the third time I think I've said in this video. You got to go into this reading and saying, yes, it says porter. It tastes like a porter. In my mind, porter is like a light stout. And it delivers awesome flavor profile. Wish I actually could read what the ABV is. I'm gonna look it up when I turn the camera off. Thanks, Gabe. Again, I'm really appreciating this beer and enjoying it. I'm sorry, I'm really enjoying it, so I appreciate it. And as always, please check me out on Instagram and Untapped. No Hype Beer Reviews of those places. And please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.